Okay, and we're live. Welcome everybody to today's After Church Tea Time. I am Christine and I'm joined today by Carmen and Alden.
Hello, how's it going?
Oops, put me mute. Okay, good. Good. So how did you ladies find today's Sunday service? It was really healing, really nice, and I feel there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it helped me relax, into what Granville was referring to, and be really like attentive and non-judgmental of my present moment. And I really liked that. I really appreciated how he kind of took us into different possibilities where we might have resistance to that and kind of brought it back to like his central point about honoring God's choice.
Yeah, I really found the sermon also very healing. And I immediately wrote down the question he proposed to us. So I wrote it down in my own words. I'm not sure if he quite used the same, but it's like, do I respect God's choices for me in my life? And I definitely felt something coming up immediately and just chose to as you just shared, Alden, to release judgment about it and just feel through it and choosing to be present with whatever is. And really accepting right now where I'm at. And yeah, this kind of like feels like an opening to the opportunities that God can bring me to expand from where I am right now. And yeah, it was very soothing and just a very perfect sermon for the circumstances right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really loved everything that was shared in today's sermon because it's very peaceful to know that, I wrote down one of the quotes that Granville shared. And the quote was, understand that your life experiences are God giving you gifts. So it's a really beautiful way of looking at it, because sometimes we might be going through a rough time and thinking that, it's so hard, please God help me get out of this. And we're really looking forward to be out of it instead of learning the lesson and trusting God to take us out of it, and also asking God what the purpose of this experience is, because it's not like God gives us a random experience for no reason. There's always a lesson behind it and a lot of meaning. And we're like diamonds, and diamonds without the pressure are just carbon pretty much. So we need to go through those circumstances, and God knows best. So it's a beautiful reminder that even the toughest times are just a call for deeper faith, and they really help our spiritual evolution.
Yeah, it makes me think of co-creating with God too, and just where, we come in to really create that, that life based on whatever it is that we might judge as good or bad, but whatever's happening that is, going to really give, it's going to give me the platform to make some kind of a choice in my own reality. And that's a nice way to look at it, I think,
Yeah, and what Granville also shared is that it's so important to be patient with yourself and compassionate. And I think really this having compassion for yourself is such a fundamental thing, because without compassion, And without acceptance where you're at, you won't be able to move forward. And it's really so important to master compassion for yourself, and also seeing yourself as innocent and a child, like growing and learning. And no one is offering that to you really, except you choose it for yourself. I mean, in this community, we all have compassion for each other, of course, and it's a very safe space to learn and to grow. But you have to master it for yourself, and you have to make the choice. And I guess that's really, really, really important. And it's also opening doors to go even deeper.
I love what you shared about this, because it's a lot of times we find it easier to have compassion for others for going through the same thing than ourselves. So it's very important to extend the same compassion to ourselves, and to let go of where we think we should be, and instead to focus on, okay, that's where I am right now, and like I respect that, and I'm willing to work and do whatever it takes to transcend that, but with God, not by trying to bypass steps or skip steps or find the quick and easy way, because that really doesn't work in the long run. And there's this quote, I think it's in Life Purpose class, and it goes that overnight success takes years to build. So a lot of times we see these people, like they get so successful overnight, but in truth, like they've been building up to it and working through those circumstances that maybe were less than ideal. So that's something we all have to go through, work through our stuff in order to claim deeper levels of having what we desire.
Yeah, right. And we have to remind ourselves that we are building something for eternity, and it's not something that is built up on control, or what we might see some people do outside of the community or whatever. It's really something you build within first, and then you can extend it on the outside, and it takes a lot of patience again. But I also stumbled upon a quote that said, like, the speed is not important, but the direction you're headed to. And that's so true. It might seem like you're taking little baby steps every day, but these are more important and even more like foundational or stable even than like trying to skip ahead, as you said. Like there's also this meme, I guess, with the ladder. There's a ladder where some of these steps are missing and someone is trying to really reach up. And there's the other ladder that has all these like little things in between, and someone is just like stable going every day, like some up, so to say. And it's grounded, it's stable, it's like a tree, like deeply rooted into the soil, into the earth, and ready to expand for eternity.
That's a really good point about building something that lasts for eternity, because a lot of times we focus on, oh, what can I achieve in this lifetime? It's like, I'm human, I have like 80 years on this earth. Let's try and do everything quick. But it's important to realize our nature as divine beings, and that we are eternal, and everything we build on this life, it's something we take with us in the next and then the next. So it's really worth it to take some extra time and really lay the foundation to have this eternal thing, instead of trying to build it on sand pretty much, and then it just keeps breaking down, and then you have to build it again, and then it breaks down, because that can be really exhausting. And in a way, this reminds me of how a lot of us used to do relationships before we committed to the twin flame path, because it was like, okay, find somebody that you kind of find hot and you have a connection with, and you have a family with them, and then that's it. And then the next life, it's someone else, and then someone else. But on your twin flame journey, you find like the person that is perfect for you, and that you can build things eternally with. And that might take a little bit more time than finding just a random person to do those things with, but it's worth it because it's you get to keep this vibration and your harmonious union for all of eternity after that.
Yeah, that's a nice point. And what came up for me when you were talking about that old way of doing relationships is like social acceptance, and how sometimes like I guess superficially, but there's something, that feels kind of stabilizing about social acceptance, right? And so like in the old way of doing relationships, at least like my experience is just like that, like there's this level that there's something you get from it, but it's not really honoring God's choice if you feel that, there's something deeper, but at the same time respecting, your experience and whatever your experience is. But for me, there was something like deeper where it's like, no, this isn't really like God's choice for me. That's not exactly what I was thinking, at the time, but there was just this underlying feeling that like what's going on around me and this like acceptance of things isn't really like enough to like it's not really honoring my desire, Well, I liked what Carmen was saying earlier about opening more doors, like deeper doors or something. And they were talking about ladders, and I was like, this is interesting. It's kind of like going both ways here. But yeah, no, I mean, that's true. Like that's how that is. You're just like taking one step at a time with God, and that's the best way, like. And sometimes I feel like God is really quiet. And so that's like a time to really not always call forth God, but like to really just be really present with what God is showing me too.
I remember once I heard this being likened to like a GPS. Like when God is quiet, it means that you're going the right way. Because when you have like your navigation system, it's like, keep going straight, then turn around, then this, then that. And if you're going the right way, it just gives you an instruction here or there. But if you're going the wrong way, it's going to like, no, go there, turn the other way. And it keeps pestering you when you get out of the route. So
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. And it also gives you, even though that you can something do wrong, it gives you some comfort because you may work through some contrast here, but it's still a lesson you're learning deeper here to really ground that lesson. So you won't make the same mistake, so to speak, somehow again. And now it came to my mind what Christy shared in her card reading about when you're not sure what you should do right now, you can make these noises, what Jeff and Shaleia shared. It's like also funny, like, she said, like, should I go to the grocery store right now? And then you feel like, nah, this is kind of like an indicator for, like you said, like in GPS, right? Like, nah, not really right now, And so you can like, there's also like tiny steps, but they're so important. And getting deeper into a relationship with God and really listening to what's right here and what has He in store for me. And about releasing expectations even. Sometimes we think, but God, this is something I'm working through as well, like this teenager thing, I guess, where you feel like, no, I know what's better for me, And God is like, yeah, but I know you better, dear child. Please follow me. And then you'll be like, okay, I know. I release resistance here, and just follow God. And then it's even better than I could expect for myself. And that's funny.
I love what you mentioned about like the teenager thing, because a lot of times the right step for us can feel uncomfortable, or we could even have resistance, but it's the right thing. So yeah, whenever I feel bad about something, I like to go deeper into why it feels bad. Like, does it feel bad because it's maybe not the right choice, or does it feel bad because there's an upset here? And that's very important as well, because yeah, for example, like most people don't like eating salads every day, but it's the healthy thing to do. So right, sometimes doing the right thing doesn't look very glamorous. So yeah, that's important as well, to examine why the bad feeling is there.
I guess I feel called to say with salads, like it could be too cold for your stomach to digest that for some people, especially every day. So it's like it could also be an example of, yeah, like kind of like the card reading too, you know, where it really like, well, something doesn't, it feels like a no or it feels like a yes, and like going deeper with surrendering there and getting clear on like, yeah, like what was really in your highest interest. Because sometimes I think we go off of what we think is good for us and stuff like that as well. I mean, yeah, you know, healthy choices are usually like going to do us better overall, but I don't know, there's just something else there where it's like, or also, you know, if you keep on having a craving for like a cookie or something, well, is it better to just like think about the cookie for 10 days or just like have a cookie? Probably have a cookie. It's good for you then.
Yeah, I feel like having balance is important here, because like living a healthy life is also about satisfying those cravings. So like one cookie isn't going to be that harmful overall, and it can be very healing, like to have some foods that are considered like forbidden in a sense, but in moderation, because that's good for your inner child maybe. And yeah, life is meant to be enjoyed. We aren't just meant to like always be like super in a specific schedule and stuff. I feel like there is room to explore things like that. So maybe having ice cream every once in a while, because that gives to us in that moment.
Well, I like that you brought up the inner child too, because I think there's a big piece of that, like when we're looking at God's choice for us and how maybe like we're being led through something so that we can heal more of our inner child as well. Because that's definitely been the case for me before. So yeah.
Yeah, it's same here. And for me, it's yeah, also about like trusting my heart, even though it might look like it's good to do sport every day and go on a walk and eat healthy, whatever. I needed to accept for myself that how I'm eating right now is very healthy for me. For example, what Jeff and Shaleia also shared in a class, that they were eating for some time like fast food and stuff like that, but felt very good with it because they starved as children. Like they couldn't like really eat a lot of that in their childhood, and so now the inner child is craving for that. And I feel like going through something similar with my body. Even like I gained a lot of weight, but that's okay. My body needs to gain this weight in order to heal. And it might look like I'm going backwards, but instead I'm really like purging something right now. And it's so important to honor that. And I'm really learning to have also a lot of compassion here. I can't control. God is not even giving me extra energy to go jogging or to try to force a diet on me, which I always did. But yeah, it's so healing to relax into his way for me, and knowing like, yeah, it's something really sustainable I'm building here. And it feels good to trust that and surrender here even deeper. I really like that.
I love how this was brought up because it's what I've been working through lately. Not as much with junk food because I worked through this a while back, but like still feeding myself things that weren't very much allowed at home because it's like, oh, you need to follow like a healthy diet and eat vegetables all day. Yeah, like it feels very good to get a little bit more sweets and stuff like that now. And like it's okay to gain a bit more weight. And the other thing that was really cool was healing my relationship with my body, no matter what it looks like, and getting to the core of like what attraction means in my union. And it's not about the way I look, it's about a feeling, it's an inner state. So it's not like my twin will be any less attracted to me or love me any less because of how I look, and vice versa. So that's been very healing. And in a way, it's very much contrary to what society teaches us, especially as women. So it's been very good.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. I also feel like here's a big wound in everyone's consciousness about body and how you appear on the outside. And yeah, even so I had also this experience like with clothes, finding now fitting clothes and even beautiful clothes, the way I really want to dress, because I love expressing myself through clothes. And when I don't find like fitting clothes, it's somehow like really frustrating. And I also had to learn like trusting God here and leading my way to finding something, even though I'm not fitting into the clothes from H&M right now or something, I would still be able to express myself however I want and to love myself wherever I'm at right now. And that it's not about how you look, it's really about how you feel. And that this is like radiating, and this is so healing for everybody. And we don't know what an impact this has on everybody else, like seeing us going around feeling very beautiful in our body. Like a lot of women and men as well need this, to see this, seeing people feeling good, no matter which weight they have or even how thin you are or whatever. It's just, yeah, this is so healing, really. And I guess it has a huge impact.
Yeah, it's really important to be comfortable in our physical bodies, and because that's really the place, you know, of peace, not just comfort, but like peace, where you can, like where God's going to lead you to be able to make changes that are really for you, that are like not taking from you. Because it seems like what you both are speaking to is like that, like taking from yourself energy, you know, to like, I guess, to get a result, which I've experienced in other areas of my life. So like I could relate, you know, based on that. And then it just makes you so tired, because it's a way of going into debt, you know, energetically. At least I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like that's true. Yeah.
And this was also mentioned in life purpose class. I don't remember which class exactly, but about like there being this emphasis on just looking good, but not feeling good, and like people being very beautiful on the outside, but very numbed out to their feelings, and how like it's really not worth it to take from yourself to look good, but it should come from within. Like it really should give to you, to give to your body in this way. And I also loved what you shared, Carmen, about like this being healing for other people, to see others being happy and confident in themselves, no matter what they look like, especially in an era when plastic surgery is so normalized and all these like you need to be a specific body type and do all those things to look this way. But yeah, it really shouldn't be this way. And it's so healing to like have this diversity and people feeling happy and healthy no matter what.
Right, it's a huge thing. Also, in terms of Instagram and TikTok, whatever, there are a huge amount of filters you can use to make yourself like look better. But when you're really honest with yourself and really feel into it, it feels empty and it's not giving you even something. And yeah, so it's really here we go again with the foundation, laying the foundation and really building something for eternity, like feeling good no matter what. And this is healing for everybody. I guess also some meme was going around. This was about like people who meditate or doing inner work, like maybe you saw this. What was it about? Like they radiate or they produce, what was it again? Maybe you can help me out here. Have you seen it? I guess Shaleia shared it as well. And
you're talking about like the frequency of something?
yeah,
okay.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Can you explain that? I'm not really able right now.
Well, I'm not sure like which post you're referring to, but I know there's like you know, like ones about like the it's kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a kaleidoscope almost, like of, you know, like real beautiful, kind of like a mandala or something, very like kind of sacred, basically, like sacred geometry, and how that like that vibration is captured. I think like in your voice, maybe in other ways too, right? Like chanting and stuff. I know
Yeah.
there might be something else you're referring to, but that's like what came to mind when you were talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's about this, like you're having your aura field and it changes, and the people around you change just by you being in love and in peace. And yeah, how much of an impact it has, you know, when you choose peace here and choose love and meditate and whatever. So yeah, it's very powerful what we're doing. And this was also like coming up today in Jeff and Shalia's class. And yeah, perfect.
Well, I didn't see the specific meme. I remember it was mentioned in some of the classes, actually, that like your vibration really touches other people, even if they don't know it subconsciously. Even people you meet at the store, they're still affected by that, and it's a really beautiful thing. And yeah, I've noticed that by me doing my inner work, I noticed that like even the neighborhood that I live in transforms in a way. Like I can feel that there's a shift because of that. So it's been really cool to see. Or maybe the people around me also, my friends. I noticed that like they start choosing more love in their lives, which is really cool also, even if they're not like super conscious about it.
Excuse me, Chris, you said she really enjoyed the sermon and loved when Granville read from the book on respect. It was perfect. Yeah, respecting, you know, our experience, going back to that is a nice point, and also respecting other people's experience, like you just brought up people in your neighborhood and stuff. Because sometimes for me, I also have the opposite case at times where it's like I feel like, you know, there is a need for boundaries, I guess you could say. But yeah, you know, like both ways, but just because of course, like we want the best for other people too, and all of that. But yeah, respecting everyone's experience and how they are choosing to respect and move through whatever God's choice is for them, you know, is between them and God too.
I love that you brought that up because I was feeling guided to say something about boundaries and how it's important to honor your energy. I was reading something about this recently. I don't remember what exactly, but it was along the lines of like honoring yourself means also honoring the choices of other people. And yeah, sometimes people might choose to like not have a relationship with you. Like, for example, one of your core values is respect and respecting yourself, and this person is being very disrespectful. So in that way, they're choosing not to have a relationship with you. So yeah, it's always like a good idea to like honor their choice, and if they're not ready to like continue a relationship with you and to meet you in this level, then that's okay as well, because it's between them and God. So that's okay too.
Yeah, I guess what comes up about that, like I've been thinking about this one too, is just like honoring my own time and energy. Like every second really does count, you know? Because like realizing that you're an eternal being makes that even more important in a way, not less. But then it's not about, yeah, like you were saying earlier, like getting as much done or accomplished for like I guess more superficial results sometimes. I mean, like they're, you know, that's not to say what people are accomplishing isn't amazing at times and eternal too, right? Like even without realizing that they're doing that. But yeah, so like respecting our experience is also respecting our energy and our time and what we're doing with it, like how we're moving through the lessons, God's choice, going back to that, and how it's like playing out in our lives, and but also like we're creating, you know, and really honoring that God gave us the ability to do that too at the same time.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned about honoring your time, because time is very valuable. So a lot of times we might think that, oh, it's okay, just 5 minutes, but yeah, it's important to make every second count, and yeah, like being with God every second, and always being present. Like, God, do you want me to do this, or do you want me to do that? And focusing on what God is asking us and where God is going, God is guiding us to show up and serve, because in that way we can serve Him best, and it feels best for us too. And I also feel like trust plays a role here, because it's trusting that, oh, even though I might not be called to do this task, God will find somebody else to do it if it's important. So yeah, there's perfect order for everything.
It's funny that you brought that up. I was just thinking basically the same thing, just how trust plays a big role. And because it came up last night for me, I was watching some little thing someone was saying about trust, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's integral with the whole lesson, I think, because it's like, well, we have to be able to trust God to honor the choice on some level. And then it goes to trusting ourselves too. Because I know for me, like when I'm not trusting myself, I feel confused and maybe not as grounded, like because I don't know, like I don't know what I'm doing because I don't trust what I'm doing. And that feels really bad. So, you know, I don't choose that. But yeah, I was going deeper with that just last night and like kind of realizing what that was in some areas of my experience.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Gracie wrote in the comments this quote: "It can get better, it can improve. It's better to honor God now and honor what is happening in your life," which is really good, right? Because I've noticed when I really choose to respect God and respect like what's going on in my life instead of trying to like find the easy way out, right? I noticed that it goes by faster. I learned the lesson, I integrate it, and it gets better much quicker, yeah, than if I was trying to just avoid it or numb out to it. And yeah, that's very important too, because when you release resistance to the lesson, then you can learn it fully and then move through it like a boss.
Thank you for sharing that. It always reminds me of the sequence in Harry Potter where, I guess, I'm not sure, it's the first or the second movie. No, I guess it's the first, where they're in this, where Ron, Hermione, and Harry are in this plant thing, and it catches them, and they're really like tightened up, and they try to force against it and trying to make their way out of it. And then they just realize they have to relax, and they just fell through it. And so this is like the picture that came up for me right now, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, great. Yeah, this is how it feels like. Then you're choosing God's flow for you, and it can be all very easy and soothing to just learn the lesson, and humbling as well, because you don't know and you can't see the bigger picture. You might have some intuitive like yeah, you know where you're headed, you know you're headed to more God, more love, more peace, and trust that that's enough for now, and you will see the results on the outside when it's time, when you've learned fully and integrated everything.
Yeah, I like the point that Chrissy brought up of the quote that I think quoting Granville. But yeah, like just that it can improve, and that's like, I mean, that is what we're after, like, Ascension, feeling good, and not just feeling good, but, it's an improvement, like really, it's, and it's safe I feel like it's safe to embrace that desire, within us. And yeah, like things don't, they don't happen later. They're always happening right now. So it's really important to look at what's, what I'm feeling right now. And sometimes there's something there that I can't quite feel or get to or whatever, but then when it's like when I'm able to, and like moving through, and I guess that is a part of honoring my experience, is like then I can access that feeling and that honoring, because like I'm grounded in it, and part of being grounded is being able to feel your feelings. And then I can heal in those places that are not so, comfortable, and that always leads to improvement.
Yeah, that's perfect, because Ascension is improvement. It's pretty much we're calling in heaven on earth. So everything is improving. So I feel like there's another facet to this, and this is also like not settling for a bad circumstance. And yeah, just because the circumstance is not the best right now, it doesn't mean that it cannot improve or that we can like do nothing about it. So yeah, I feel like it's also important to honor our power as divine beings to choose better every time, and to choose to keep raising our vibration. And like, even if there's a bad situation and then we make it a bit better, not settling even for that, like we can always keep improving. because calling in heaven on earth isn't about like having something a little better. It's about like having everything that your heart desires.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like how you brought it to heaven on earth, and just like that's what we're creating, and that is honoring God's choice for us, because that is God's choice. How can it not be, right?
Yeah, totally. It's like God's choice for us is for us to live our life purpose and serve him in this way instead of just some whatever job we don't care about. And God's choice for us is being with our twin flame. That's why we were created this way. So yeah, it feels really good to pursue those things because it's honoring our desire and God's desire, which is one thing. Like our true desires are God's desires for us.
Yeah, and for me, sometimes it takes it just takes what it takes to get clear, because there's many good places to serve, that do bring joy, but it's like, what is really like, like how do you meet your desire with a service in a way that you're meeting consciousness with their desire to be served? It's in life purpose class too.
I feel we're mentioning life purpose class a lot today, which is really good. It fits the topic.
Yeah, totally. See, Chrissy said, Granville, I'm not muted, am I? No. Granville also noted it's safe to shine a light in that corner and get rid of the dust. This is, yes, very true. Something else I loved was that we are never alone. God is always with us, and it's safe to learn the lesson. No, sorry. I had to push more, and now I don't know where I just was. God is always with us, and it's safe to learn the lesson right now through respecting the experience completely and fully look at the thing standing in front of you now and trust God will lead you on every step. This was a perfect sermon for the one student today. Thank you, Granville. Oh, that's really nice. Thanks, Chrissy. I love that.
Yeah, that was really deep, this quote. And I feel like it's also about not being afraid to share about our journeys. And even if it's not like perfect right now and it's not where we think we should be, it's still important to share the lesson even with others and extend the healing, even if you're in the middle of something, because that's still very valuable. And that way, we really claim the sense of community, because we're not designed to do healing alone. We are doing it with our community. We're doing it with God, and that's important too.
Yeah, I mean, that can be perfection too, just because sometimes if I'm having a downer moment or something, then it can be really helpful if I'm not, as long as I'm not bypassing or whatever. But sometimes it really is time to just look at what is going right and move towards that too, and not get stuck in the mud. And for me, that does help me sometimes dust stuff off, and sometimes it's time to sit around and do inner work, and then I can actually, literally clean too, clean my home and stuff. And I notice, just using that as a literal example, that when I'm doing it from a place of a desire to do it, it feels so much better. It feels like a completely different experience than trying to make myself do it. And so I'm learning that, like, how to have that more sustainably. And and that's also, though, I feel like a result of inner work and like doing that inwardly too.
Yeah, that feels really good. Like doing things out of desire to do those things instead of, feeling forced to do it. And I think it was mentioned either in Twin Flame Ascension School or Life Purpose class, like how doing something out of obligation isn't really doing it at all, because you're not loving like what you're supposed to be doing. You're not giving your all. You're not doing it with your heart. So it's like it wasn't even done at all.
Yeah, I love it when I'm able to heal there kind of in the moment and actually move into a place where I can do something from a real place of power instead of force. And so it's like I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing I was going to do, but I, chose to not just like push myself into it, but to like do whatever I needed to do to get myself into that place. And it's really nice to see that happen, I think, for ourselves, especially when it's like really quick, that's really satisfying when that does happen. It's like, oh, I can do this. Like, this actually is fine now. Like, I moved through some weird feeling I didn't know was there.
Yeah, this feels very good. And it's a good reminder to put the inner work first, because feeling good like is a priority.
Yeah, I feel like I get taught that, there's just so many times when I've thought, oh, it's a deadline or something, and like various things in life. And then, you rush to do it and it's like, oh, it wasn't even a real deadline, or this happened anyway. And like, it's kind of like God saying like, yeah, you didn't really like need to choose fear there and do it from a place of fear kind of thing. So it's nice to not do that. Feels much better. And is it Tracy? My biggest lesson lately: trust that you're loved no matter what. Trust God. It is safe to not know all the answers right now, one step at a time, and know that you're never alone. That's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very healing, because we don't have the full picture at all times, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice when we do have the full picture too. Like if you have those moments when it's like, oh my gosh, I just now see how this all fits together. But you can't make that happen. And that's kind of the beauty of it. Like, you have to trust.
And usually I think, like, for me, I get the full picture after I'm out of it, not when I'm going through it. So that's where patience comes in, and trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'm starting to feel pretty complete with this discussion. What about you both?
Yeah, me too. I was wondering if Carmen wanted to share something more, since she's been a little silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've both been in such a flow. I was like, yeah, I just could agree, and I also feel pretty complete here.
Perfect. So we can wrap this discussion up here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for After Church Tea Time. And yeah, we'll see you again next Sunday.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.